first tutorial that I'm going to make, and this will be a simple business card. So I'm going to create a logo, and I'm going to create contact information, and if you hear any purring in the background or any meowing or any sort of pain in the rear end kind of noises, that is going to be Misty. So let's get started. All right, so first what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into Adobe Illustrator, which is what we've been making our files in. Okay, and the name of this auto sales, City Select Auto Sales, is a used car dealership, and it's been used as a sample material for sample projects. So I'm going to create a new document by hitting Command N. And a standard business card size is always 3.5 by 2 inches. So we're going to put 3.5 by 2, and always make sure it's inches. And this is just going to be a one-sided card, so we're only going to do one artboard. So once that's done, I have all that. It's going to be a landscape. I'm going to hit Create. Okay, and I noticed that 2 artboards came up. We don't need the second, so I'm just going to go into Document Setup. I'm going to Edit Artboards. I'm going to choose the one I want to get rid of, and I just hit the Delete key, and so that just leaves me with my one artboard for the business card. So, all right, and I also noticed that the 1/8 inch bleed marker came up. We're not going to need that, so I can just go back. I mean, I can go back into Document Setup, and I can just put, I'm just going to put 0 for bleed, so we don't need bleeds. It's going to be a white background. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're just going to create a simple logo, and I'm going to create the logo that I've always done. So I'm going to use my type tool and get my lorem ipsum in. I'm going to type a C, a capital C for city. And then I'm going to cut and paste, which is Command C followed by Command V for paste. And I'm going to take this, my I-beam, my type tool, I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to, S for select. And I want a fancy, I'm going to be have a fancy font, not fancy font, but a serif font. So we're going to choose Times New Roman. So I go up here to character, and this gives me a list of all my fonts, and I'm just going to try Times, do Times New Roman bold. There we go. All right, and since this is going to be primarily artwork, they're not going to be needed as a font. So I'm just going to select them, and I'm just going to convert them to outlines, have them both selected, Command, Shift, and O. O stands for outlines, so now my fonts are curves. They're actually officially artwork. So if I can remember how I did this logo, so what I did was I believe I just took them and put them like that, or maybe what I did, and you can play around. Just put the C and the S inside one another. And then I'll just kind of manipulate this. There we go. And I'm just going to get rid of the serif here. So, and this is where your Pathfinder tool education came in. So I'm just going to make a little box. That's Misty playing in the background. I'm going to use my Pathfinder tool to get rid of the serif here. And that should do it. There you go. Because I'm not going to need that, and then it's going to go right in there like that. There we go. City, select auto sales. And I'm going to use my Pathfinder tool again to fuse this thing together. I'm going to use the fuse element tool. Okay. All right, so I have my logo. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this logo, I'm going to make it bigger. And that's going to be my logo. Well, actually, I'm going to make the logo a little smaller because we're going to have wording underneath it saying City Select Auto Sales. Excuse me one minute. Daddy's working. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to create some type underneath the logo. It's going to call it City Select Auto Sales. All right. I'm going to make that bigger. Go. City Select Auto Sales, and then I'm just going to put some descriptive text underneath it. Sales service appraisals take that underneath. Okay, and now for the contact information, I'm going to make it a different font to give it a little bit of variety. So we're just going to use a plain Helvetica, and we'll do Helvetica bold for the name. Actually, you know what I want to do? I'm going to put the logo on the top right, and then I'm going to stack City Select and Auto Sales. I want to make the lettering as big as the logo, because that is very important, because that's your main point of your advertising there. And just get that nice and centered. And then sales, service, and appraisals. I'll just put underneath. I'll make this a little smaller. No, it's 12 points, so it's, there we go. And then I'll make the city select logo to balance out. There we go. Okay. All right, and John Romeo. All right, so that's my name, and then for my business title, I'm going to create and just make it in a regular font. My title would be Sales Manager. And I'll make that a little bit. Like 12 points. All right, and then all my contact information will go beneath it. And I'll put my phone number. I'll put direct. Email. And we can make this a little smaller. 10 point. And I'll make this italicized. Oblique stands for italics, in case you have not known. And then I'll put the website underneath. Okay. Now I'm just going to center all this stuff. So, oh, and also have to give this a file name. So I'm going to save this under John Romeo Graphic Design Training. We'll call this CS Auto BC Demo 1. Okay, so now a business card is 3.5 by 2, so 1 3/4 is half of that. So I'm going to go to my rulers. I'm going to put a guideline at the 1 3/4 mark, and I'm going to line everything up to this guideline using my align tool. There we go. Okay, so we have a business. Oh, and actually, what you want to do. This is much too close to the edge. And you also just want to kind of balance this stuff out, because you want to have a lot of, you don't want to clutter things up so it's easy on the viewer's eyes. So that is, and save early, save often. So that is basically a business card. It's 3.5 by 2. And yeah, simple, black and white. And so that is it for the business card design. And hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you very much, and come again.